Life-changing enlightenment. Consciousness reprogramming video. As a blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all bad karma.
Learning is a light, and ignorance is darkness. Greetings! Today I present to you a video of consciousness programming. And first comes an explanation of the nature of our consciousness. Because we have to know what to enlighten, right? Now, before we start watching, in some places I will do comments and explain so that there is a clarity. And clarity is part of self-enlightenment.
Consciousness. At first glance, it seems that consciousness is characteristic only of living beings. But all living beings are formed from non-living, from matter. That is, in a certain state, with a certain configuration and under certain conditions. Non-living is able to turn into living, which means that most likely consciousness already exists in non-living. It is just waiting for its animation. All it needs is the right space and the right proportion of different elements.
Look, the body is made up of chemical elements. All of these chemical elements exist as inanimate nature, but when they get into formation in seeds or embryon, they begin to live.
Actually, the difference between the chemistry of the alive and the dead body will be a catalyst or activator of life and living consciousness.
Yes, a second ago the body lived, but now it doesn't. What has disappeared? What chemistry has been broken? And where did it disappear to?
The chemistry of the body of any living being is a whole ensemble of chemical elements of the earth. The richer and more diverse this ensemble is, the more conscious the living being. The melody played by this ensemble of the body is its life. Did this melody arise as a result of combination of components of the ensemble? Or did the ensemble arise under the play of this melody named life? Think about it.
No one knows when and who invented music. And actually, everything or particle has its own sound. If you play all the existing sounds, you will surely get the melody of life. The muse is a goddess of inspiration and creativity. Therefore, she creates and inspires.
What properties does consciousness have? Can consciousness be measured at all? Is it subject to our systems of measurement? Actually, consciousness is absolutely everything that surrounds us. There is no full description of consciousness, although consciousness in living beings manifests itself as awareness. Consciousness is realized by awareness, which is consciousness too, like everything else. Intriguing, right?
It is impossible to describe consciousness. We in the human body can describe everything that we feel with our senses. Unfortunately, there is no sensing organ that could touch or see consciousness, only indirectly. However, having received self-enlightenment, you can do this. You just must first dissolve into consciousness and feel its boundaries.
How awareness works. It has the following aspects: consciousness and subconscious. Subconsciousness. Human consciousness is located in the cerebral cortex, the subconsciousness in the subcortical centers. Consciousness consists of mind, intellect, and actual intellect.
To make it easy for you, we divided the whole function of awareness into several separate functions. Again, it will be easier to understand your own consciousness nature. And most importantly, this will be the beginning of self-knowledge.
What is intellect? It is born by the contact of newborn seed of human consciousness with the outside world. This intellect is necessary for the survival and development of the individual. And it forms 4 screens in the inner world of humans.
Yes, over time, we develop the skills to segregate the functions of awareness. Depending on the kind of activity of awareness, we build the environment accordingly.
The screen of the present, here and now. The screen of the past, memory, the future dreams, plans, projecting and reasoning. And the thought-forming screen, at night this screen broadcasts dreams. These screens are layered on top of each other, and the eye of the mind changes screens depending on the state of mind.
Everything that we see and feel around us is recorded in memory in the form of images. We then use these images in work of conscious mind. And as we know, we need a screen to view images, right? And we first of all create screens in our minds. How we create these screens, we will talk later.
The thought-forming screen is the closest to the subconsciousness, since the brain sounds and light vibrations of the subconsciousness create forms and images which emerge to this screen as a thought.
We have not explained the subconscious part of awareness yet. In few words, it is a constantly working background of conscious mind.
The screen of acquired impressions and memory is the screen of the past. It is located close to memory. This screen is always on to support other screens with images. After all, one always has to remember who he is, where he is, etc.
Yes, the screen of the past is a window into memory. And without memory, we don't even know who we are. Therefore, this screen always works in different alternating modes though. The quality of the screen determines your ability to remember.
The screen of the future directly depends on the screen of the past, since one is only able to reformulate things already seen by him. That's why this screen consumes more brain energy.
This screen consumes a lot of energy, since you need to create images of the future from images from your memories. So you can dream and create hopes, but there is a lot of energy in the mind. If this screen does not work, the person loses hope and therefore depressed. Whoever has this screen in good quality is always an optimist.
The main survival and self-awareness screen is the here and now. This screen is an important acquired habit for merging from the inner to outer world and in the moment of shifting the awareness.
Close your eyes and try to move your head and body. You will immediately turn on the screen and see yourself from the outside. This is an unusual screen. We rarely use it. Please know that this screen is the most important for self-enlightenment. When you see yourself from the outside, you dissolve into the universal consciousness. This screen potentially has no borders. Once you program your subconsciousness to complete goodness mode, you will be able to achieve self-enlightenment. Well, of course, through this screen. One of the signs of achieving enlightenment is meeting a heavenly being. There you start a new adventure of your unlimited consciousness.
What is the mind? It consists of the eye of the mind and the inner voice. What is the eye of the mind? It is a sublimation of the feeling of oneself into inner vision. It looks at and considers figurative thoughts and images. What is inner voice? It is an acquired habit formed by the heard voices of others and oneself. It speaks inside, and the intellect itself listens to it.
Indeed, in order to see mental images and reason the thoughts, we need an eye and voice. Thanks to the eyes and voice of our body, we copied them and moved them to the mind. Although with voice, it's a little different story.
What is actual intellect? It is a mindful acquired habit that uses the mind and intellect to solve tasks and problems. This skill shapes personality, inclinations, and willpower.
And now an explanation of the actual or active intellect. This is the part of awareness that determines your character and abilities. It is mind in action. That is why it's called actual. Actual intellect requires a huge amount of energy. In some people, the supply of this energy goes off scale, thanks to the well-established work of the brain. For others, this energy is dissipated. Therefore, everyone has a different level of actual intellect. Soon, we will talk about how to optimize the actual intellect function.
What is the subconsciousness? It is a constant stream of nerve impulses in the subcortical centers of the brain, even when one is sleeping. It is the flow or vibrations because of which awareness exists and functions. There would be no waves without the sea.
Everything we've talked about above, screens, eyes of the mind, voices, memory, all this created and supported by the matter of subconscious mind. This is the material for building a conscious mind.
Consciousness rests on the subconscious. At the contact of consciousness and subconsciousness, a layer of 4 screens formed. That's where intellect takes place.
In fact, the conscious mind cannot exist without the subconscious mind. As soon as the subconscious changes, you become a completely different person. For example, when exposed to drugs or alcohol or even simple coffee, human conscious is a tool necessary for solving problems, creation, and cognitive abilities. And the subconscious mind is motivation and satisfaction with life.
Why improve the subconsciousness? If you go into a dark room, it is difficult for you to figure out what is where. As soon as you turn on the light, everything becomes clear and easy. Or on a rainy, cloudy day, you don't even want to look out the window. When it's sunny, you run outdoors. The subconscious is the light for the consciousness.
How do you think the mind's eye can see in the dark? You actually can't see anything in dark. The eye needs light. Where does this light come from? Well, the subconscious mind, of course.
If you want to talk near a highway, you won't understand anything because of the noise. When you are in a quiet, cozy park, you can easily understand each other. Or when you are squeezed in a crowd of people in a subway car, you want to quickly get yourself out of there, and how pleasant it is for you to travel in a spacious cruise ship. The subconscious is the space for consciousness.
Yes, if there is no space, how the sound will reach you? Only in the space you can do something, move, talk, right? Even your body is created in space. There is nothing without space.
For the successful function of consciousness, a bright, silent, and spacious subconsciousness is necessary. It is pleasant for the mind's eye to look at your intellect screens in the clean, fresh, bright, and silent space of your subconsciousness. These bring happiness.
Yes, when we have order and peace, everything is beautiful and tidy, life is good. Clarity is light without shadows. When the shadow and darkness are around, it becomes gloomy and depressive.
How to change the subconscious? The subconsciousness is shaped by a constant stream of neurotransmitters. There are dozens of different neurotransmitters, the main ones being 7. Of these, some are serotonin, dopamine, and others have a positive effect, and some, like norepinephrine, histamine, and others have a negative effect. Although all of them are necessary for the function of the mind and body, the abnormal predominance of some neurotransmitters lead to an inevitable change in the subconscious. So, in order for a cocktail of neurotransmitters to be positive, you need to tune the subcortical centers to positive vibrations. Each subcortical center has its own amplitude.
All our emotions and impressions are just chemistry. Everyone has different chemistry at different times. Our mood is also chemistry. So ideally, we want our brain to produce the right chemistry.
We developed an effective technology for programming the subconsciousness for positive vibrations through passive observation in order to restore the proper function of consciousness.
The most possible image of subconscious mind is the waves and the sound of silence. We created this image of optimal amplitude of waves.
Consciousness and subconsciousness reprogramming video. In order to get a direct impact on the subconscious, we need the same vibrations that will unison with one subconscious mind. Image with the same frequency of vibration, the correct mass of light, and its amplitude. We created it. The next step is the creation of positive impressions in the form of smiling humans. Only in the moment of true smiling one feels peace and bliss. Smiling is shining. We created it.
When everyone around us smiles, we feel safe and confident in the good intentions of others. Your fears disappear, and you are ready for happiness.
And now, the most important point. If you look directly at these images, then the actual intellect turns on and everything that you see is filtered through prejudices and judgments. Thus, these vibrations do not reach the subconscious. The subconsciousness is the essential background of consciousness, and in reprogramming video, the main action image needs to be set up as a background. We created it.
Everything we see, we involuntarily try on to our standards, and we always look for differences and shortcomings in observed objects or subjects. The reason of that is the memory screen that is always working, and everything that is felt or seen is being sorted according to what type of memory, good or bad, the object or subject belong to. This is function of the actual intellect. And therefore, it is very important to look at the middle part of this video, which is in our case is massage video. Every day, watch and closely observe this massage video. And meantime, the background will influence and reprogram your subconscious. And over time, you will completely reprogram your conscious for happiness. when your subconscious is peaceful and blissful, everything will fall into the place and will be extremely clear. You can easily control and change the center of awareness from individual mind to the universal intellect of the whole universe. When your awareness is located in the deep core of the actual intellect, and that's what we need, you will begin to intensely feel the transcendental energy of consciousness and progressively merge with the universe's consciousness. This is enlightenment. And for more information, for more practical techniques of the self-enlightenment, you can contact me at the comments section. And thank you for your attention, and I wish you good luck and self-enlightenment.